any piece of Salad Master you can do anything in. So for example, if you wanted to, Victoria, you could bake a cake in here, you could bake a cake in the one quart, you could bake a cake in the small skillet.
Wow.
So any piece, you can do anything that you can do in any other piece.
Right.
But what you need to decide is how much food or the quantity of the food that you're going to be cooking in that piece.
That's right.
So for example, if you're going to do some vegetables for 1 or 2, you'd use the 1 quart. Vegetables for 2 or 3, you'd use the small skillet, and so on. The key to remember is that you need to fill the cookware at least half to 3/4 full. So these are some vegetables that we've prepared, and you can see here we've got some fresh vegetables, frozen vegetables, hard vegetables and soft. They're all going to cook at the same time because they're all cut to the same size, but they're 3/4, the cookware's filled to 3/4 of the height.
Ooh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Now we've also got the skillet. It's the only one, the electric oil core skillet and the MP5 are the two pieces that have a probe, electric probe. Very easy to use. To switch it on, you simply switch it on, temperature and up. As you go up, if you push it one at a time, it'll go up in 5-degree increments. If you push and hold, it will go up into 10-degree increments. So if we start at 85, if you're going to do your vegetables, you'd cook them at 85 degrees to keep the nutrition, 93% of the nutrition in there. As we go up, if you wanted to bake bread into the electric skillet, you would go to 120. You can also do really, really healthy pizzas in here. So you can do that around about 230, 240, depending on how crispy you want the base. If you're going to brown onions, you would do that at 140. Then going up to 160, you do your fish, any mackerel, any salt fish, any type of fish at 160. And then all the way up to 230 for beef, chicken, pork or lamb. Salad Master, the probe also has a rice setting. So you simply switch on, temperature and down. And that's rice setting 1, so that'd be good for white rice. If you want to go to brown rice, it's on, temperature and push it twice down to rice setting 2, which would be for brown rice. And the last thing, which is one of my favourite things about the skillet, is if you wanted to cook some food and you want to go out do the shopping or spend some time, not by the sink or by the stove, it's got a timer. So you want to cook something at 85 degrees, go to 85 degrees first, and then go to the timer. Hit the timer for say 2 hours, and in 2 hours' time the electric skillet will switch itself off, seal into a vacuum from whenever you're ready to eat it later.
Good.
So when cooking in Salad Master, you can cook from cold. So if you were going to do a lasagna or put your vegetables in, all of those you'd start from cold. There are a few items that you need to start where you would preheat the cookware first. So we preheat up to a medium heat. These items are onions, meats, breaded items and eggs. So if ever you're going to do any roasts or frying of meats, we'd preheat the cookware. If you're going to do scrambled eggs, fried eggs, you'd preheat the cookware. Salad Master is the world's smallest ovens. So if you're going to take anything from the deep freeze, like pizzas or Kievs or anything like that, and you wanted to heat them up in the Salad Master, you'd then preheat for those as well. And if you're going to brown onions, if you're going to do a sauce like a spaghetti bolognese or a stew or a curry, or if you're going to do any browning of onions, we'd preheat the cookware as well. So eggs, onions, meats and breaded items, we preheat the cookware.
Right. So this section, we're just going to show you how to preheat the cookware and for how long. So we've already preheated this. We've left this on for about 1 to 2 minutes. It should be ready. What we do is we get some water on our fingers and we just gently drop that in. What you'll see there is the water start to bead and dance around the surface of the cookware. Now it's ready.
So now you could put in your onions, you could put in your meat, and it's at the perfect temperature for browning onions, for browning meats, where the meat will just lift from the cookware when it's golden brown.
That's right.
Victoria, when you're doing any type of cooking, normally the first thing that you're going to do is add some
oil.
Okay, well with Salad Master it's really easy. We just want to keep the oil out of the cooking process.
Right.
Everybody watching this, or most people watching this, are going to already know how to cook.
Yeah.
So today's not really about this showing you any recipes or how you cook your food. Cook the food that you normally would, but there's just one simple technique, one simple change that you would add in the cooking process, which will allow you to cook whatever you want, but with just no oil.
Right.
Okay,
Good.
so if you were going to do a soup or a stew or a curry or a casserole or a biryani or pancit or adobo, anything would normally start with browning some onions first, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so you normally add oil and then start browning the onions. The only thing we're going to change in the cooking process is we're not going to add the oil.
Good.
So remember what we're going to preheat. If we're going to preheat, we preheat for onions, eggs, meats and breaded items.
That's right.
So we've actually preheated the cookware here. So we can just check that it's ready.
Just by doing a few drops
A little bit of water
water.
to get the water dance You can see there, that water is dancing across the surface like mercury. That is now the perfect temperature for adding any onions.
Good.
Now, just for this explanation, we're going to add just some onions, but this could as well be ginger, this could be garlic, this could be your herbs. You could, if you wanted to, roast any of your cloves, roast any of your any herbs or spices. Okay, so I'm going to add onions here, but this could as well be ginger or garlic or any types of herbs.
Good.
You could roast your cloves, you could roast your cardamom pods, anything that you wanted. The simple thing we're showing you here is the technique of how to brown the onions without the oil.
Good.
So we're on a medium heat. Salad Master recommends that you can use a metal utensil. You don't need to worry about using wooden spoons. There's nothing that you're going to scratch off the surface. Now, just going to leave that for a couple of minutes. Just remember, with Salad Master, you don't want to stand here pot watching and stirring. You know, normally you've got to stir the garlic. Leave the lid on and come back to that in about 2 or 3 minutes, and that will all start to brown.
Good.
So Victoria, we've left the onions. We've left them about 3-4 minutes now.
Yeah.
We haven't had to stand there pot watching or stirring. And let's just check if they're brown. They should be nice. There we go. They should be starting to soften. They're nice and golden brown. Can you see that?
Wow. Wonderful.
How nice is that? So you're getting that really nice golden brown colour, but without the oil. Now, can you see on the bottom there? Can you see that it's just starting to catch? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Now, because of the special metals that Salad Master's made from, the 316 Ti, that we're just going to use a little bit of water and everything's going to release from the cooking surface.
Wow.
Again, we're just showing you here how to do onions, but this could be garlic, onions, ginger, anything you wanted to heat, anything you wanted to cook. We're showing you the technique, not a cooking process or a recipe.
Right.
Okay?
Good.
So, I just want to show you how that releases. So just a little bit of water here, please, Victoria. So you can see there, Victoria, see how it's nicely caramelised?
Yeah.
You can see there it's just caught there a little bit onto the front of the cookware. If we put some water in here, you'll see that everything just cleans off. See that?
Yeah.
So as you're cooking, let's say for example you were browning your onions. You see that's now all nicely cleaned off. Yeah? So if you were browning your onions and they didn't caramelise quick enough, so they're a bit light, you can turn the heat up a little bit. And if they started to caramelise and go dark too quickly, turn the heat down a little bit.
Good.
And as it starts to catch onto the cookware, add a little bit of water, everything will release. And that everything that comes off the bottom will then go into the onions or the garlic or the sauce or the gravy or anything that it is that you're making. How simple is that?
Very good.
So we'll leave that for another couple of minutes. And then when we come back, they'll be perfectly soft, golden brown, and you'll see it's just going to be exactly as you want it for any soup or stews or curry. Okay, Victoria, so we're going to come back to this again in a few moments' time, and you'll see that everything's going to be golden soft, as it would be had you used the oil, but we've just taken the oil out of the cooking process.
Right.
So if you were going to do a bolognese and you were going to add your tomatoes, you'd add them at this stage. If you're going to do a biryani, you want to add your rice, you'd add that at this stage and then add the water. Any type of cooking process that you wanted to now follow, you just follow it from this stage on. This is just to show you how to brown the onions, caramelise them golden brown, just with no oil.